Hello and welcome to Trio's April virtual culinary and nutrition event. I'm Tristan Perry, the Director of Marketing for Trio Community Meals. This month, we are focusing on plant-forward eating and how it's not only good for you, but also the planet. Joined with me today is Director of Culinary and Innovation Chef Mario Reyes and Registered Dietitian Veronica Gober. Chef Mario is going to show you an example of a plant-forward meal that you can create right at home. But first, Veronica will share valuable nutrition tips and facts about why plant-forward is good for you and the planet. With that, I'll turn it over to you, Veronica.
Thank you, Kristen. Good morning. So likely, most of us have heard that eating more plants is better for our health and our planet. But what if you're not ready to give up food from animals? A flexitarian diet pattern may be a good choice for you. In fact, 60% of Americans report transitioning to a more flexitarian lifestyle. And there's a bonus. A flexitarian diet pattern may cost 14% less than the American standard diet. So flexitarians will focus on adding more plant foods without restricting or excluding any food groups. So they aim to eat more plant proteins. Meat, seafood, dairy, and eggs may or may not be included at each meal. So steps to get started. Well, step 1, add more plant foods like vegetables, whole grains, and fruit to your plate. Step 2, swap some or all animal proteins for plant proteins. And then step 3, try new foods and recipes each week. So eating less meat and more plant-based foods such as vegetables, legumes, and nuts can reduce the risk of disease such as type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. So the motto of this segment is go meatless one meal or one day per week. So studies have shown that 16 to 24% lower risk of cardiovascular disease, 23% lower risk of diabetes, and 15% lower risk of cancer. So meet this delectable dozen. So these are grams of protein per serving of these cooked items. So the edamame has 11 grams of protein per half cup. Now remember, this is a soy protein and it's also a complete protein because it contains all 9 essential amino acids. Then there's tofu, 11 grams per half a cup. You have lentils, peanuts with 9.5 grams per 1/4 of a cup. And then you have chickpeas, green peas, which happen to be some of my favorite vegetables. So green peas are a starchy vegetable. They are high in fiber. They have 8 grams of protein per 1 cup of cooked green peas. And they're also a stool softener, actually a very natural stool softener. There's quinoa, whole grain breads. There's pumpkin seeds, wild rice, farro, and then spinach. So swap out some of your green lettuce for spinach. It has 5 grams of protein per 1 cup. And again, go meatless one meal or one day per week. And then here, this picture graph shows the carbon footprint of what you eat per kilograms of carbon per 1,000 calories. So you can see at the bottom that lamb and then beef are the largest carbon footprint, with the nuts and the peanut butter and lentils being on the least amount. So again, go meatless one meal or one day per week. So the food system is responsible for up to 30% of the global greenhouse gas emissions, 14.5% from the livestock production. So a shift to plant-forward eating will reduce up to 70% of your food-related greenhouse gas emissions from now until 2050. So again, go meatless one meal or one day per week. And then this slide will show you that the livestock production uses 75% of the Earth's agricultural land. It creates more greenhouse gases than the entire transportation sector in all the world. So again, go meatless one meal or one day per week. So let's find out what Mario is cooking in his kitchen today.
Hello again. Welcome back to my kitchen. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you, Tristan. That's great. As always, you know, one of the things we're here to is to a little education. Also, at the same time, share some ideas, something that we can actually do it at home. Going on with the theme that we're on to talk about this month. So this month, of course, is Plant Forward. So for the meal for today, what I chose is actually frittata. Okay, so it's a vegetable. Going back to what Veronica was talking about, is putting vegetables there, some spinach, we'll put in some mushrooms, some peppers, some onions, and then of course adding, making it into like an open face. Think about frittata. Frittata is in like an omelet, open face. And then you can use obviously some eggs, but you can use also white eggs to control also the cholesterol and, you know, to make it better for you too. So in this case, what I have is I'm going to start off with the onions. Okay, I've actually diced the onions already. So what I'm going to do is just put the onions right here and just let it saute there for a little bit. So make sure the oven is on. Okay, make sure is 350 is preheated. Okay, I have some peppers right here that I'm going to just toss it together. Okay, as you can see, what I'm doing right now is just tossing in a little bit of olive oil, some onions. Okay, crystallize the onions, let it soak a little bit there with the olive oil, and then of course the peppers. Okay, right after the peppers, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some garlic. Okay, I got a little bit of garlic there, give it some flavor. You don't always need to have meat, you know, for something like this delicious. The main thing itself is really the seasoning that goes on together with this. So I have there right now is the onions, the peppers, and then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the mushrooms to it. The mushrooms itself, you can easily put it on, like slice it, but I'm actually dicing it, as you can see it right here. All I'm doing is kind of cutting it small pieces and just dicing it. Okay, the reason why I like to dice it itself is because it goes on the same size as the onions and the peppers. Okay, so they're not in different size, different texture itself, so it can actually cook at the same time together. Okay, look at that. All I'm doing right now is just tossing it nicely here. I feel I need a little bit of more olive oil just to kind of give it a nice little coating to it. So I have olive oil, it's cooking. And then what I'm going to do right now is also add a little bit of zucchini. Okay, zucchini itself gives it a nice texture and also gives it a nice color to it. And then of course there is a nice flavorful vegetable that goes on together. Look at it. All I'm doing is once again just dicing it. Okay, dicing the zucchini right here. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little bit more there, and then we should be all set to go and make it into a nice little frittata. Frittata is nice. It goes on. You can easily use that as a, you know, as a lunch, dinner, easily afternoon meal, anything like that itself. Just pretend of an omelet, but then this one is nice. Look at that. It looks good. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and mix the eggs. The one thing you want to make sure, you want the eggs cooked. You want the eggs mixed in together. Okay. But you want to make sure that the eggs cook. Okay, but you have to mix it in together. Think of it scrambling it, okay? You actually scramble the eggs in there a little bit to make sure it goes like that. You're mixing it, look at that. What I'm doing is cooking it together, mixing it, but then at the same time, you want to make sure the eggs that are actually cooked at the bottom are coming to the top nicely like that, okay? So there you go, look at that. All I'm doing is this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go and mix the spinach. Veronica was talking about spinach. Spinach is really, really good for you. So it goes nicely. Look at that. I'm just putting it right on top, okay? And then right now, what I'm going to do now is put some cheese, okay? I'm going to make sure you keep it. You just want to make sure that the eggs are cooked at the bottom. So when they come out, they're ready to go and roll into the plate. Okay, so as you can see, I have this. I'm going to put the cheese right here, just a little bit on the top. And then the whole idea is just mainly to get the cheese melted while it's in the oven. Okay, that's what we want to do. Want to make sure you put in the oven just to get it melted. So right now, look at that. All I'm doing right now, if the eggs have been cooked, the way you know the eggs have been cooked is if the eggs at the bottom are actually moving. Look at that. They're moving like that itself. So that means the eggs are actually at the bottom. You already have a coating that's been already cooked. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is put in a preheated oven. If you can see it right there. And all I want to do is to make sure that the eggs are cooked, the cheese is melted, and everything is ready to go. Okay. What I always like to do is to make sure we put a garnish. Want to make sure you put a little garnish that goes on with it, right? So what I chose for this was make a tomato concassette. So what I'm going to do right now, as you can see, is cut the tomatoes. Okay, I chose the different color tomatoes. As you can see, we have some red, we got some yellow. Okay, we also have a little bit of basil that we're going to be added. We have some nice orange tomatoes also here. And all we're doing is right now just tossing it together. The whole idea is Veronica was talking about about adding some replacing protein. This replaces the protein itself because what it does, it has a flavor profile. Look at that. All I'm doing is putting this tomatoes. Okay, I got the tomatoes right there. And I'm going to go and make sure I add some flavor to it. So actually, I need this cutting board back because what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get some basil and I'm going to julienne a little bit, just big pieces. You don't want small ones because you want this to make nice, colorful, mixed together. Look at this. This is mixed together with the tomatoes. Okay, we call it this tomato concassette because what it is concassette, just like a ragu, is blended together. Okay, and then it goes like this. Is a little bit of thyme. Look at that. I'm not even chopping it. I'm just putting it right there. The whole idea is just to make sure they're big pieces so it blends nicely. Okay, so look at that. I'm all ready to go. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. Just a little bit of olive oil here. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of pepper. Okay, you can put a little bit of salt. Just a little, not too much, but you know, I didn't put any salt or pepper in the frittata because it had enough vegetables. Okay, it had enough vegetables, everything enough just to kind of blend nicely. Look at this: tomatoes, basil, little olive oil, and a little bit of thyme, a little bit of seasoning, and we're all set to go. Okay, right now the omelet frittata, the frittata omelet style should be all set to go. Look at this; it's nice. Look at that, it looks good. It's blend, it's nicely, the cheese is melted. I'm putting it right in the middle of the plate. Look at this, right in the middle of the plate. As you can see, the whole idea, you want to make sure is that everything is cooked at the bottom, looks good, a little bit thick. So it doesn't, you can fold it if you like, but this is like an open face. Frittata is always nice like that. And then what I'm going to do, once again, Veronica was talking about the replacing or just plan forward. You can't go wrong with anything like this. Look at this beautiful open face little frittata that goes nice together, and then at the same time itself, it's good for you. I think I go back to what Veronica was mentioning. Once a week, go meet this once a week. This is good. This will help the body, and very nutritional for you. Happy cooking from my kitchen, Chef Mario.
Thank you, Mario. And I am going to put the recipe here on the screen in case anyone would like to screenshot this and make it at home. And if you do make this at home, please, we would encourage you to share it on social media and tag Trio Community Meals. Thank you again so much to Chef Mario and Veronica for all of that helpful information. At Trio, it is always an honor and a pleasure for us to be able to serve the seniors in all of our communities. Follow us on social media for more tips about plant-forward eating. We appreciate your time today. Thank you and have a great day.